So let's take it to the centre of your mat. Equal pressure on both feet and have both feet about hip distance apart. Just take the pelvis back and forth a few times and rest yourself in neutral so you're neither tipped forward or back. We're going to start with our balance exercises with our heel raises. So let's gently engage our core and we're going to take ourselves up onto tiptoes and then rising down. So press through the ball of the feet and lower. We want to keep equal pressure through both legs as best we can. Breath out, breath in. Growing tall through the head, feeling that lengthening, lifting to the ceiling. And that exhale to lift and inhale to lower. We'll take 2 more and down. And 1 more. Adding in some arms this time. So from here, we're going to lift, come down, open that right arm, return. We lift and down, rotate the other way and come back. Lift, down, rotate. Get as much twist as it feels good to do so in your body. Keeping those hip bones facing to the front. Exhale and inhale. Eye gaze follows the hand round. And let's just be really aware of that balance on both ankles, coming onto the balls of the feet and down. Okay, taking it from here this time, we're going to take the arms overhead. And then as we land, we're going to take it circle round. Overhead. And circle round. Let's lengthen tall. Circle, let your eye gaze come with you. Tall and circle. We'll go once more either side. Lift and circle. Last time. Lift and circle. We're going to do that similar, adding in the legs a little bit more with some knee bends. So we're going to take it down into the knees and rise up tall. Send the weight back over your heels and make sure your eye gaze, when you look, you can see your big toes. And then keep the back tall. The chest is open. The arms nice and relaxed. Let's exhale and inhale. So feel that length remaining from your tailbone to your head. Feel that core gently drawing inwards for 2 more. 2. Stay down on this one. Hold it here. Take the arm round to the center and tall. Down. Rotate. Back and tall. Keep those shoulders melted away from our ears. Working with that breath. Keeping the weight down in the heels. Reach, rotate. Last time, we're going to do the overhead circles this time. So as we come down, hold it here. Circle it round and tall. Down, circle and tall. Keep that breath slow and steady. Good. Keep those legs hip distance apart. 2 more. And tall. 1 more. We're going to we're going to come back to standing. This time we're going to squat it down, hands behind the head, shoulder shrug, lengthen tall. Down, shoulder shrug, lengthen tall. Keep the elbows nice and wide. Lift through the chest. Breathe out, breathe in. Hopefully feeling warm through those legs. We've got 1 more. Standing tall. Right arm up to the ceiling, reach to the fingertips. And switch sides. Lengthen the fingertips away from each other. And come back. And again, feel that stretch from the hip all the way to the fingers. And down last time. and release. Let's take the feet wider than hip distance with the toes turned out now and a good space between the feet here. We're going to come into our wide squats. So weight through the heels, back tall. We're just going to sit and rise. Breath out, breath in. We're just going to take 4, 3, keeping those backs tall, 2, and hold it here. We're going to circle one arm under, one arm over, and then back up tall. Come down, circle the other way, come back tall, down. Really nice to get that side bend working into our movement. Keep the weight pressing in the heels. Keep the knees pushing outwards. So keeping those knees out wide. Last time. From here, come tall. Take it down once more. Side bend this right arm. To the other side. Side bend. And come back. Work yourself up. Give yourself a shake out. We're just going to come into some toy soldier arms. So bring the arms to the front, drop the shoulders and engage your center. Top arm up, bottom arm down, and then we switch. Exhale and inhale. Now resist the urge to let the rib cage or chest come forwards. Really keep those ribs drawn downwards. Tiptoes. We lift, pause, lift, pause. Exhale, inhale. Soft through the shoulders. Squeeze those buttocks up onto the balls of our feet. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Have a little loosen off from there. Okay, so let's begin down in our rest position on your mat. Let's just take a few pelvic tilts to find your neutral position and level across your waist here. So you've got just your natural curve underneath. Your knees and feet should be hip distance apart and your hands are down by your sides, shoulder blades, collarbones, all nicely relaxed here. Let's just take a moment to engage through our center, so that 30% gentle inward contraction. We're going to start with hip twist for our pelvic stability. So with that core engaged, we're going to open this knee out to the side and back to the center. Switching to that other leg and back to the center. Exhaling as we come out, inhaling, come in. So you want to imagine that you've got these headlamps on your hip bones shining up to the ceiling, so the pelvis stays absolutely still. So you can place your hands here if it helps. And with every leg movement, the further you go, you want to feel that core tightening in that little bit further to support you, to stop you from rolling your hips off to the side. Lower back space should remain still throughout. Rib cage stays drawn down. Let's take 2 more. And 1 more. We're going to add in some arm work now just to challenge your coordination a little bit further. So soften the shoulder blades down into the floor, engage through that center, and as you move the leg, the opposite arm comes overhead and back to the start. So here it's really important to have that rib cage connection down towards your hips. We exhale out, we inhale in. So let the arm just float overhead, nice and easy. Really being mindful of that support through the core, through the rib cage. And then just using that breath to regulate your movement. It's all about that mind-body connection. So as we breathe with purpose, it will help us move with that intention. Taking 1 more here. And then we're going to pause here, keep those arms where they are, but just readjust the shoulder blades to the floor. We're going to take it into a full stretch now. So engaging through that center, we take one leg, both arms outwards and back. So here, really emphasize keeping that rib cage drawn down here, keeping that lower back in its neutral position. So you want to imagine you have a small grape under your lower back, and we're not going to let that lower back lift off the grape or squash. We breathe out, we breathe in. Keep those shoulder blades gliding along the mat underneath you, nice and controlled. This time, add a circle to the arms, circle or a D shape as we come back around, but maintaining that straight line with the leg. Exhaling out, inhaling in. You'll feel that the further out you stretch, the more vulnerable you may feel through that core. So really have your awareness down in those lower abdominals, keeping them gently drawn inwards. For one more. Okay, bring your hands back to the floor. We're going to come into some scissors now to get ready to lift off the mat. So in your neutral position, engaging through that center once again, let's turn the arms up to open through the chest. We're going to float one leg off the floor and then lower back down. Opposite leg and back down. So we're looking for that perfect 90-degree angle hip and knee. And we really want to think of the precision when you lower this leg back to the floor. So we're looking for that exact same spot. Now, if you wish to, you can put your hands on your hips to keep them stable. You can check that lower back and rib cage are not moving as you go. And then just really bring your focus, bring your awareness to the core between your hip bones as we go here. Let's breathe out, breathe in. Keep those shoulders relaxed down underneath you. No pressure through the neck or the top half. Let's take two more. And one more. Good, okay. Let's get a little bit deeper into these abdominals now with some abdominal preparations. So we're going to interlace the fingertips, pop them behind the back of your head and relax the shoulders down. Now just make sure the neck is nice and long. We inhale as we prepare and we exhale, we curl the head and shoulders so that your eye gaze comes between the knees and then we lower back down. Exhaling as you lift. Inhaling down. Now this one, it's really important, I would say, to try and do the breath work if you can, because we really want that breath out on the lifting. It just makes the muscles work more effectively and it releases the inhale, the internal pressure in the abdominals. So every time we lift up, lower back, does not round into the floor. Keep that little gap underneath. Breathing out, breathing in. And as you come up, keep your chin off of your chest. Keep the elbows nice and wide. Good. Let's ground the feet into the floor. And here you want to feel the wrinkles on your t-shirt, the wrinkles on your tummy muscles as you lift up. So it's more of a horizontal drive that we're going through here. So we do lift, but then we're reaching towards those legs and down. We've got 3, 2. On this last one, we're going to stay, hands come out. We're going to pulse these hands up and down. So feel that pressure building through the middle as we oscillate through the arms. Reach your fingertips towards your toes. Let's breathe in, breathe out. If you need to support the head, one hand to the back of your head, or bring your head down to the floor if you would prefer to work down here for now. Let's keep those shoulders relaxed. Let's keep reaching for those toes. Really stretch. Imagine you're trying to touch the end of your mat. I'm going to count you down slow. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Oh, good work. That should be feeling nice and warm. So we're going to build on that intensity a little bit more now. So making sure you are still in your neutral position, level at the hips, just your natural curve with a small space underneath. We're going to come up into scissors level 2. So we're going to float the first leg to tabletop. Deeper core engagement, bring the second leg to tabletop. From there, make sure the elbows are straight if you touch the knees. We're going to toe tap and back, toe tap and back. Let's breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Now, hands can come under the lower back to make sure that you are not arching. They can come onto the rib cage and core to make sure that you're not lifting through the chest, flaring the ribs. Or they can be at the side, just resting comfortably if we are happy here. Let's use that breathing control. Now, if you want to make this harder, tap further away from your bottom. If you want to make it easier, you can bend the knee and tap closer to the bottom. So sometimes it's just about picking the right level for you. Exhale and inhale. We're going to take 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. Take those arms up into the air, soften the shoulders. We're going to come into some oblique work now, but with the arms. So we're going to take our hip twist plus the opposite arm. Okay, so as I move this leg, this arm goes overhead and back to the start. Switching sides and back to the start. Breathe out as we move. Breathe in as we come in. Now you want to keep your eye gaze right up towards the ceiling so that you're in control fully. Exhaling and inhaling. Now really keep that rib cage drawing down towards your core. Be mindful of every wobble, every movement so that you can work to improve. Keeping yourself strong and steady. Breathing out, breathing in. 3 to go here. Being aware of that grape under the lower back, not shifting. And 1 more. Good work from there. Bring those feet down, bring the hands down to the floor. Give yourself just a little loosen off from here. We're going to come into some hundreds next to really work this endurance. So I'm going to show you a few different levels. You can pick the level that you wish. So hundreds, we engage through that center. We pulse the hands to create those oscillations as you maintain that pressure. You can stay here. You can take one leg to tabletop, or deeper engagement, bring the second leg and glue them together. And then finally, if you wish to, lift the upper body. If you do lift, eye gaze to the knees, chin off of the chest, and let's really pulse these arms. We are breathing in, breathing out. If that neck starts to strain, bring it back to the floor. So choose where you want to be working and stay here with me. Breathing in, breathing out. Hopefully it's feeling nice and warm around that area with you now. We are going to keep going. I'm going to count you down slowly, but you guys keep pulsing. I'm just going to bring my feet down to here to finish. So we've got 5 slow counts. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good job. Okay, we're going to finish off with a little bit more oblique work just to finish things off here. So once again, interlace those fingertips behind the back of your head and relax. We're going to go for our oblique preparations to either side. So take an inhale to prepare. And as you exhale, you're going to lift on that diagonal and then lower back down. To the opposite side and lower. We're going to continue alternating from side to side. Breathing out, breathing in. Now as you lift, you're looking over on that diagonal every single time. Lift and down. Keep your chin right off of that chest. The elbows remain wide. And ideally you want to keep your pelvis in position all the time. Let's breathe out, breathe in. This time as we come up, reach and down, reach and down. Picking up the pace. Get a little bit more stretch through the fingertips as we go. We're almost finished. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. And rest. Good work, everyone. Well done. Rest yourselves here for a moment and just relax. Let's begin in side lying with the legs stacked on top of each other. Stack your ankles, knees, and your hips. And then for the hips, we just want to take the top hip and draw it down towards the feet so that we create length down either side of the body. Let's engage through your centre, so drawing inwards that 30% or so, and using your hand if you need the support. So we're going to start working on the glute muscles, these hip muscles at the side, with our side leg lifts. So with that centre active, we're going to lift your top leg and lower. So keeping that leg as straight as you can. Imagine that you're painting a line on the wall. We're going back over the same line every single time. So we want to point the toes, pull the leg back. Let's breathe out, breathe in. Now as you go here, watch that you don't drop into this lower space. We want to be really mindful at keeping that gap as best we can. And if you're feeling in control and balanced, hand on your hip, and let's keep it there. So let's breathe out, breathe in. Try to relax your shoulders, relax your top half. Use the exhale as we lift, the inhale to lower. Hopefully starting to feel those hip muscles warming up for us a little bit more. Breath out, breath in. So just go with the flow with this leg. We're going to take 3 more. 2 and 1. Hold it at hip height here. We're going to bend the bottom leg so we've got a little bit more support and keep that centre engaged. We're going to come into side kick to work the front and the back of the hips now. So we're going to glide forwards and glide back. Now there shouldn't be any pain or discomfort when you're doing this, so make sure it feels good for you. And as we come back, we want to squeeze into those buttocks. So draw that leg backwards. Feel like your bottom is in the way as we come back. Breathing out, breathing in. And then if you can do the ankle control, we point, we pull back. We point, we pull back. Now keeping strong through that middle. Watching that we don't drop that lower waist, and just keep those legs moving. Good, they get tiring very quickly, but that's the beauty of it. We don't need to do hundreds to work these muscles. Let's take 3, 2, and 1. Now hold it here. We're going to combine those 2 movements. So point your toes, ensure your rib cage is in, core is nice and active. We're going to do our lift and our side kick. Hands can come to the hip if you feel able, and side kick. So let's have a steady flow of breath as you move here. Now as you feel the intensity building, watch that we don't hold our breath. So we exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Good, let's keep those moving. Making sure we stay at hip height here. So we don't want to go too low with the leg. We don't want to go too high with the leg. You want to really focus on keeping it at that hip level as much as you can. Almost there. We're going to take 2 more. So we have 2 and through. Nice and high. Watch that waist on this last one and 1. Good. Bring that leg through to the front for a moment. Extend the bottom leg. Give it just a little bit of a rub if it needs a little bit of a loosen off there. Okay, we're going to take that over to the other side. So just carefully bring yourself up and we will switch over. And we'll come down on here. So same setup, stack the ankles, knees and hips. Take the top hip and draw this downwards so that we lightly tuck the tailbone under, engage through your centre and have that underneath lift. So when you're ready, top leg, lift, lower down. We exhale and inhale. Breathe out. Breathe in. So if you're able to, take this hand and just place it on this hip, out of the way. And just control that breathing as we go. Breathing out, breathing in. Relax through the shoulders. Think of that rib cage sinking in, that core drawing in. And let's go. Point the toes. Pull the toes back. We point, pull back. Drawing that line as if you're going over the same line every single time. Really important that we have strong side hip muscles, but they never get any easier to work. Okay, almost there. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. Bend that bottom leg for support. Point your toes, ready to side kick. So before you go, make sure that centre is set. You're steady. Side kick forward, side kick back. We want to go as far forward as we feel we're able to, without letting the body roll forward or losing that control. So really stay stacked up as best you can. Breathing out, breathing in. So we point the toes, we pull them back. And then just see if you can relax this bottom arm, relax through the neck and shoulders, so no pressure anywhere else. Sweeping forward, sweeping back. We've got 3, 2, and 1. And then we're going to combine those 2 to finish. So point the toes. Once again, check your length, check your centre is set. We're going to lift, lower, side kick, back, lift, lower, side kick, back. So the toes point, they pull back, they come forward, they pull back. See if we can keep that rhythm going all the way to the end now. My glutes are definitely on fire. I always find you've got one stronger side as well compared to the other, and this I thought was my stronger side. Definitely feeling the workload now. We've got 3 to go. 2 done. Last one, here we go. Lift and through. Good job. Bring that leg to the front of your mat. Extend your bottom leg. Give it just a little bit of a rub if it needs it. Well done. Okay, let's come up from here. We're just going to take a small child's pose just to stretch out a little bit. So just bring your hips over your heels and exhale. Just release the tension around the hips, around your bottom for a moment. And then release. We're going to come up onto all fours for our last little bit here. So bring the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees. Lift tall through your chest, shoulders back. We're going to extend one leg out. Make sure that core is active so we're nice and strong. And we're going to lift, tap down. Lift, tap down. Keeping strong through that core underneath you. Trying not to let the weight shift over to the side. You really want to keep that weight equal over the mat. So we squeeze, tap, squeeze, tap. Breathe out, breathe in. So let's keep that breathing under control. Let's keep those leg lifts. We've got 3, 2, 1. Hold it here. We're going to tap and tap. So our circles behind us, really just making sure that we are hitting every side of the bottom. Now, if this is giving you any hip bother, feel free to keep the taps here, maybe keep them low if that's better, or maybe just take small taps. Okay, so choose how you're feeling. If you're able, you can make them bigger. If you're not, just make them gentle. 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Let's take a quick stretch there. Quick breather. And then we're going to do that on the other side. So resetting, shoulders back over wrists here. Drawing up through the chest, core active. We extend that leg, lift, tap, down. Lift, tap, down. So slow that breath back down, squeeze into that bottom, making sure that we have the chest, the core strong underneath us. Maintaining equal balance between the two hands, your leg and your imaginary leg on the floor here. Almost there. We've got 3, 2, hold it there. We're going to tap and tap. Now you do need to work a little bit harder through your core as we do these taps. And if it doesn't feel good on your hips, make them small or revert back to small lifts. Okay, now try not to let your body wiggle side to side. You want to really keep a strong, stable back and pelvis as best you can. Let's keep breathing. Working, feeling that core working with us as we go. We're almost there. We've got 3, 2, 1, and done. Good job. Let's just send the weight back, stretch out through that bottom once again. Whew, and have a nice breath. And just take a moment here, relax, whew, and just let the bottom ease out from there as best we can. So you want to line the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees here. So we're just going to start with some shoulder isolations or scapular isolations. So keeping the elbows nice and straight, we're just going to lower the chest and then let it press back up. So really working on the control through those upper back muscles. As you come down, the shoulder blades come together. As you press up, shoulder blades apart. Take a breath in, breath out, and then start to connect with your core as you go through. So as you lift up here, start to engage through those lower tummy muscles. Where your hip bones are, you want to feel that gentle drawing in. On this next one, we're going to stay lifted up and we're going to hold it here. So just take a moment to take the shoulders away from your ears and engage through that center. So just gently drawing up through your core and lower stomach. We're going to come into some single arm lifts. So lightly transferring the weight to one hand, we're going to extend the opposite arm and then lower down. Same to the other side. And down. Take a breath out. Breath in. Now keep the height in your chest. Keep strong through that stabilizing arm. So really working all around those shoulder muscles as we keep ourselves lifted up from the floor. So you want to imagine you've got a huge box underneath you that you can't lower down on top of. So you've got to really stay lifted up with control. We're going to take 2 more. Using your breath to control the speed of your movement. And then resting here. So we're going to build a bit of strength now. So curl the toes underneath. Make sure that core is gently engaged upwards. We're going to take some hovers. Activating through our center. Let's inhale, prepare. Exhale, hover those knees a couple of inches and then lower back down, not any higher. Breathe out. Breathe in. So the key here is to keep it quite low, because the higher we go, the easier things will feel for you. Work with that breathing pattern. Keep those elbows straight. Eye gaze is down just a little bit out in front of the hands. 3 more. Feel that intensity building on the arms. 2. And 1 more. Good. From there, we're going to walk the hands a little bit further in front. Bring the knees behind. Bring the knees together and then just lift up through the feet. We're going to come into some upper body push-ups here. So draw those shoulders back and down. Tuck the tailbone. Engage through your core. Inhale, prepare. We exhale, we lower. We inhale, push back. Breathe out. Breathe in. Now it's up to you if you want to do small ones here, or if you can get to here, you choose where you're at. Work with your breath to control that speed. Keep that core nice and strong underneath, tucked in. Breathing out, breathing in. Let's take 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Let's just come down onto the knees and take a little child's pose. Sink the hips over the heels, get the weight off the arms. Exhale. Okay, come on back up. We're going to come back into that position that we were in. So just bring the knees a little bit further out. Lift through the feet. We're going to do some side rocking with the legs. So try to have the shoulders over the wrists. And then we're going to take them all the way to one side. Shift the weight to this hand. Extend this arm upwards. Lift your lower waist right out of the floor. We hold it strong. We rotate back. And then shift to the other side. Stack the knees, stack the feet, and really push yourself out of this bottom hand. Come back around. And again, breathing out, lengthen tall. You can turn your eye gaze to that hand if you wish. And bring it back. Rotate around again, lengthen tall. Squeeze up through that lower waist. Eye gaze to the hand if you wish. And come back. We're going to do that again. This time, as you come round, we're going to take that top leg out. look to the hand. Hold it strong. Inhale to hold. And come back. Bring it through. Same to the other side. Keep the knees together to stay strong, connecting through the core. Leg lifts, eye gaze up, and then come on round. Take it into your child's pose once more. Breath out. Okay, come back to hands and knees. We're going to revisit the hover exercise that we did, but we're going to build that intensity a little bit further. So you will feel your core working here as well as your upper body. So bring yourself shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, tuck those toes. Strong through the top half. Core active. We're going to inhale, prepare. Exhale, hover and hold. You're going to take your hand for shoulder taps, nice and slow, trying not to rock, side to side. Breathe out, breathe in. Keep that chest lifted high. Keep your body low. Really feel those arms taking the weight. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Take a seat. Let's just give the wrists a little bit of a loosen off. Okay, last one. Back onto our hands and knees for our hover position, but we're going to bring those arms a little bit further forward for our full hovers. Toes curl. Core activates. We inhale, hover, come through. Hold it strong. Come back and down. Breathe in. Exhale, come through. Hold it strong. Pull up through that core. Come back and down. We're doing good. Let's keep going. Hover and through. Hold it there. Eye gaze out in front, down at your mat. And down. Take one more. Inhale. Exhale. Hold it here. Come back and down. Take your last child's pose. Just breathing out. Down into the mat. Let the shoulders and wrists melt. And then gently come up. We're going to come into a seated position once again, so cross-legged if that works for you. Shake out your shoulders. We're going to do some chest stretch. So taking both arms, we lift, we widen through the top, and we come back down. So imagine like you're coming up the sides of a vase, and then you're widening at the top, drawing back and down. Breathing out. Breathing in. Take one more. Reach long through the fingertips and then take it over for our side bend. Come back to the other side. And come back through that chest stretch routine once more. Lifting and widen. Really draw back through these shoulders. And then come over. From here, angle it forward slightly. Bring it back. And lift. Side bend over. Get as far over as we can here. Angle it forward. Bring it back. And lift. Well done. Give your shoulders, give your wrists a real good loosen up. So let's come into child's pose with your hips over your heels, your arms outstretched, and just relax yourself down. Ease your stomach, ease your chest, even lay your forehead, and just breathe. From here, we're going to walk both hands to one side, Send the hips in the opposite direction, just to change the angle of your stretch. Walk the hands round to the other side. Send the hips the other direction so that we create a diagonal pull here of your stretch. And then come up. We're going to come onto all fours. We're going to take our thread the needle for some rotation. So taking one hand, we're going to thread down, and then we're going to rotate open to the ceiling. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. One more. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's switch to the other side. So we reach down low and then come around, open through the chest and the shoulders. Get this shoulder as low to the floor as you feel comfortable doing so. And last time. Lengthen tall. Coming into our glute stretch for the hips, we're going to take one leg underneath us. Set it up like an upside down V, but get this bottom on the floor, straighten out, and then just lower your chest over the top of this knee. We breathe out. Now as you sink lower there, you want to just remind that hip to let go, to ease, to relax. Just release any tension. And if you want a deeper stretch, come round towards your shin or your toes. And then carefully come out of here. We'll take that over to the other side. So stretch this leg out. Lower your chest and relax. If you want that deeper stretch, round to your shin or toes. Good. Gently coming up from here, we're going to come up onto our knees. We're going to take a big wide step forward and bring the hips through. But feel the lift from your chest, that lift up from the ground underneath you. So we don't want to be collapsing down into the back. You're really stacked up tall, feeling the stretch on this back hip flexors. And then take the hands down towards the mat. We're going to plant this hand. We're going to rotate towards your knee just to enjoy a bit of a spine stretch too. And then come back. From there, shift the weight back so we straighten out this front leg. Eye gaze is down towards your ankle. Just feeling that tension through our hamstrings. Come back into our lunge stretch. This time take the arms up, open through the chest, maybe even bend through the elbows slightly. Just ease into the stretch as much as it feels good for you. And then take one more hamstring stretch. Send the weight back, eye gaze towards your ankles. And then gently release. Switching those legs over, start with your wide step forward. Weight comes forward, but we lift. That sense of lift through the pelvis. Shoulders are back, hips square to the front of your mat. And then bring the hands to the floor. Take the hand nearest the knee up to the ceiling. Just enjoy that spine twist. And then come back. We're going to send that weight backwards. So we straighten out that leg. Encourage the bottom to push back behind us. Come forward once again. Lengthen tall through the chest. And then once again, bring those arms upwards, widen the elbows slightly. And release. Sending that weight back behind us. Shoulders relaxed. And then carefully come out of there. We're going to come into sitting. Offset your legs so that we have two V shapes here, but get your bottom equal on the floor so that you're level through both hips. We're going to lengthen tall through the spine for our mermaid side stretch, and we're going to come up and over. So really stretch through this arm as far as we can. And then we're going to take it up to the other side. Always feels a bit more unnatural to go this way. And then come back up. We're going to swap those legs over. Just readjust your bottom position, line up your spine tall, and then come up and over. And feel the stretch from that hip bone waist all the way to your fingertips. And then we'll come up and over to the other side. Good. Come out from there. We're just going to pop back onto hands and knees to take a quick cat-cow to loosen everything off. So we're going to arch the back up to the ceiling, and then we're going to let the stomach come down, let the back curve, and then we arch, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, let it come back out. And again, regulating your breathing nice and slow. And then from here, we're going to come into sitting just to finish with our chest stretch. So lengthening tall through your spine. You can sit however it feels comfortable. We're going to float those arms up, widen at the top here, and then back down again. Take a nice big breath outwards as we reach. And an inhale. And once more. Reach through your fingertips. And then relax. Give everything a real good shake off. I hope you're feeling nice and loose and stretched out after that. And I hope I'll see you soon.